And welcome to Let's Fly VFR. Today we're going to do what I thought was an absolutely amazing flight in the Diamond DA62. We're going to fly from Chiang Mai in northern Thailand across to Chiang Rai, soon to be my home yet again. And the weather has been pretty abysmal here, so Chiang Mai is an airport I've visited a number of times commercially. Its elevation is about 1,000 feet above mean sea level, so it's up in the hills. The weather's pretty good here, and they do get some pretty good storms, and that's something we're going to certainly experience today, heading across to Chiang Rai. The flight over to Chiang Rai is only about 30 to 40 minutes, and I've cut it back a little bit for you just to have a look through, but the scenery and the clouds is something that really took my breath away. It's been pretty amazing with the thunderstorms in the local area. This storm has just rolled through yesterday, and that's when I flew this flight. And yeah, it's probably not a good day to go flying in a general aviation aircraft with all the thunder and lightning that's going on and all the rain. It's the aircraft, the Diamond DA62, I've not flown very often. It has a really good cruise speed at about 170 odd knots, but what I have done during the flight is I've kept it to in the 150s, which is in the green zone, so we're not going too quick, because I expected that we would get bounced around a bit, which is something that I didn't experience really. I thought we would get bounced around a lot, and I'm still wondering about that. That maybe that's flight model, that maybe that's just Microsoft Flight Simulator, but it does look pretty amazing, doesn't it, as we turn left and head out towards Chiang Rai. Now, going across this area, it's we have areas of flat ground. We've got Chiang Mai there below us, underneath. It's quite a big city, and this city has been around for quite a long time. It has a very old central core in the city, which is bounded by some old, what would you call them? I guess they're just the old structures. They're parapets and things like that, old military structures from the original construction, and I think this certainly goes back many hundreds of years. And we go across here, we have flat areas, and then we have some mountain ranges that sort of run north and south as we head across, and we're going to try and fly the pre-planned route. But the thing with this is, with the clouds, we're going to have to duck and weave a little bit to get around around them. I'm not flying through them because that would be deadly, certainly in the real world. And you can see all the rain there. There's a big rain shower on the left there as we're coming out, so I'm going to keep away from that a little. Now if you look at the instrumentation, you can see that I'm just coming around so I can get back on track, and then we'll make a right turn. We're looking for about 041 degrees as a track, but we're going to have to just adjust that and keep that as a reference as we fly along. I'm going to try and get up to about 9 or 10,000 feet. But again, that will be limited by what presents itself in front of me and what we need to do to get around it. The intention is to go straight across as much as possible, but we might need to fly around a few thunderstorms and thunderclouds, because they're certainly not something you would want to fly through. I think you'd end up in pieces pretty quickly. So we're just turning right a little here. We're just trying to meet up with the flight path. Now this has been programmed just in the setup of Microsoft Flight Simulator, so I've just selected, haven't gone direct, I've selected low flightways or pathways for the aircraft. It doesn't look magnificent. Look where we've just flown out of. Truly incredible to me. That's just something I haven't seen, and I'm slowly getting my Microsoft Flight Simulator tuned a little bit, and it's becoming a lot more pleasurable to fly, even in VR. So I had a bit of help on that one. Again, with Jim's helped me out. The biggest thing that I've found with this to make it smooth is setting up the caching. That's something I hadn't had turned on, or I'd turned it off mistakenly, and the thing just stuttered really poorly. So it's going pretty well at the moment, and it's smooth in the replay. So, and this aircraft just look magnificent. Pretty well laid out. It looks beautiful in VR, and the shine on the surfaces of this DA62 certainly pretty nice. Look at that. Now we're looking for a gap. Now you can see that gap off the nose. There's just a little bit of green. That's what I'm thinking about trying to sneak through. Now I don't know whether that would be the right thing. You can see it just there again. There's two towers, and I was going to go between the two of those. So we'll just see how we go and get a little bit closer to them and see if that's still a viable option. Otherwise we might have to look for a plan B, C or D. If you do this flight in a 737, it's about 15 minutes. From wheels up to wheels on the ground again. It's a pretty short little flight. And it's pretty comfortable flying this DA62. It's pretty surprising that an aircraft of this size has such a high altitude. It can go up to about 20,000 feet. And its endurance is about 7 hours, so you can really cover some distance, somewhere around about the 1200 nautical mile range. So very much a get from point A to point B aeroplane, this one. That gap ahead of us is still looking pretty good. Still climbing to see how high I can get up here. I just want to sit underneath the clouds. But there is lightning and all the way through this trip. I've decided to go left. I'm going to go through that open gap on the left. You can see that really dark cloud. I'm going to aim to the left of that into that what appears to be a gap, and then turn ourselves right again, try and fly around it. Hopefully you don't run into another wall of cloud on the other side, because that other gap was just closing up behind it. You can see it's green through there with a valley, but the other side of it became solid, so just keep moving around. This is probably the first flight where I have flown with clouds like this, I think in the 4 or 5 years from wow, look at that lightning, where I've actually had the opportunity to do this sort of flying. A lot of time with X-Plane, because X-Plane has been the main staple of this Let's Fly VFR channel. Hasn't really presented itself with clouds like this, and hopefully the new X-Plane 12, which is now being talked about, and little bits we're finding out about it, are going to have volumetric clouds in that. But I don't suspect we'll see that until 2022 sometime, and that'll probably take a little while. So just moving around a little bit further towards the north, just keeping my distance away from the clouds. So many clouds there, it's pretty amazing. It's just an amazing view. And they just the size of them makes you give them some respect. Be interested to know if you guys have had any flights like this, lots of clouds, flying through the clouds, in more of a VFR realm possibly, because I imagine you pilots that are out there in the jets will be flying up above a lot of this stuff, maybe moving around the anvils and the peaks of them, but flying low level. And there's some more lightning out to the right there. That'd be pretty frightening stuff. So we're flying a little bit left of track, as you can see. We're on track in that we're heading in the right direction and the right heading, but we're left of the original plane track because of those nice big clouds that you can see out to the right there. It seems to be clearing up a little bit, so there's some gaps between the clouds ahead of us and above, so we're going to try and fly through that little tunnel. And this scenery looks pretty good too. I have flown again a number of times this way and driven through here a number of times as well. It's quite hilly. And the aircraft's looking good as we get away from all the really nasty stuff. It is blowing from the east to west. That's where the storm's going at the moment, and dropping a lot of rain in Thailand at the moment, especially the upper central area of Thailand is getting a real dousing. We've settled out on altitude, just trying to hold this at about 8,000 feet at this point, and things are looking to be improving greatly. Another big belt of lightning off the left there. Maybe we can fly out and around. Oh, another good belts and some fork lightning. Love it. It looks really great. Happy that this is a flight sim and I'm not doing this, because I think might need some new underwear after flying through that for a while. Now it looks like we got through it pretty good, and it looks like Chiang Rai is ahead of us there. It's looking pretty familiar. I know my own home is about 45 degrees out where those hills are. Hopefully back soon, and we can see the runway just appearing now ahead of us. So we're just left of centre, so we need to get across a little bit. It's a nice big lake out on the right there. Been fishing there a few times. It's Mare Whālawang. Now the airport here is Mare Whālawang International Airport. You can fly from here to China and Laos and a number of other places as well. Actually, that big lake is not Mare Whālawang. I'm trying to think of the name of it. Drive past it quite often from going home from the town in Chiang Rai. Quite surprised that there are a lot of quite accurate buildings there, especially one of the big shopping centres called Big C in Central Plaza, which we'll fly past on the left, I think, very soon. So we could have passed them at this point. We go over the river. And every year they have a big flower festival on that one. It's a bit of a day out. Looking pretty nice. There's the main north road going from north to south, heading down to Bangkok there, just underneath the left wing. You head north up that way, you're going to end up at Mesai, which is a border post that I do frequent. Now, if you know your history, recent history, especially with the Little Boars, the football team that were stuck underground for a very long time. Looking over between the engine, you'll see those row of mountains up the left there. It was right up the top of there, the far end of it was where that occurred. Okay, gears down, making our final approach. Some Australian people were very much involved in saving those kids. It was one of the biggest surprises I've had, because I thought for the amount of time they were missing, we wouldn't have seen them again, so they were very lucky people. Heading in now, the airport here is looking really accurate. That big dam there, that's definitely there. Drive past that, drive up that road and over that bridge to the left there on the way to the airport. Get a little bit close. We're sitting a little bit low, got some row of reds, but that's okay. We'll just keep pressing in, comfortable with the approach, nice and stable. Again, not getting much wind effect. I would have thought we would have got thrown around a fair bit with all the clouds and everything going on, but we're just going to hold it up here, power back, float it on. And there we are, trying to keep it straight again, looking pretty good. Bit of water on the runway there, it seems. And we'll get this aircraft stopped and we'll go over to the Mare Whālawang International Airport. You can go out the right hand side there and head over to the university of the same name, Mare Whālawang. Okay, we'll taxi into the Bowser. There she is. And thanks for coming along. It was I've got to tell you, one of the most surprising rides I've had in a flight simulator ever. Really enjoyed it. Planning to do some more especially when there's some bad weather, and try and make these clouds a little bit clearer. But look forward to seeing you back here at Let's Fly VFR real soon. Leave me a comment and I will catch you again back here. See you then. Bye bye.